back to the story series at Latitudes Gallery with Steve Munch and Stephanie Hogue, the owners and photographers. So let's start with you, Steve. This image, Island Ablaze, has been pretty hot lately, even having a customer come into our gallery this weekend, and we went on a wild goose chase to figure out which image he was talking about that had captivated him so deeply, and it was this one. So tell us the story behind the scenes.
Yes, Island Ablaze. That's actually a fairly rare scene for the islands of Hawaii. Most people think you come here and see these amazing sunsets every night,
Yeah.
and the truth of the matter is you just don't. We're not blessed with high clouds here generally. Generally, we're in what would be a trade wind pattern 99% of the time here. So it blows more low clouds, which just don't light like the high clouds do in like the deserts where you get the clouds that are way up in the sky. Then when the sun drops down below the horizon, it'll light up those beautiful, beautiful skies. So it makes sense that in the deserts, you don't have low clouds because there's very little moisture there, right? So
Right.
here, we're so humid and we're so full of moisture that low clouds are more our predominant clouds, which are very quick for sunsets and very little drama. And there's been many times when I anticipate or I can see high clouds in the sky and I'm like, this might be the night. This might be the night. And then by sunset time, they've passed because, again, they're rapidly moving and the low clouds have taken over and it turns out to be just kind of a dud-like sunset. I have a good friend that owns a house down on the water, and he's not there all the time. He is from the mainland, but he has a house, right on the cliffs there. And I knew he was in town. We'd been chatting back and forth, and I happened to, same thing, probably early afternoon. I started watching the clouds and recognized that it has potential, but it's whether it's going to hold, is the odds are against me. And so I ended up not committing to shooting this evening. I ended up actually at a local restaurant that had a outdoor dining. And I was sitting there and I'd ordered my dinner. I was with Dana, my girlfriend, and we had ordered dinner. And I was still keeping an eye on the clouds. And the food hadn't gotten to the table yet. And I recognized that this had the potential of fire. That the high clouds were remaining, low clouds weren't taking over. I remember texting Mark, my buddy, and asked him if he was home and if it would be okay if I ran over to his place and shot, because this is a shot that I was after. I'd actually shot it quite a few times, but again, nothing overly spectacular. And it's one of those scenes where the composition is what you're looking for. Now it's just a matter of that right evening. So, there's, again, you're back and forth looking for that right evening, but that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And so this evening, it started to light, and I could see it was going to be spectacular. It's one of those rare evenings on Kauai. And we got the food to the table, and I asked for a to-go container immediately and slapped this beautiful dinner into a cardboard box, ran, paid, and was literally running out the door in excitement, ran to Mark's house. I actually shot this from a ladder that I had stored at his house, which was the composition that I was looking for. It's an 18-foot ladder, so it gets me more elevated away from the ground and more up into the world of the palm trees, and the water, kind of extends the water out. And I raced there. I don't know that I ever ate that dinner. I certainly didn't eat it warm, but I raced there, got up on the ladder, and started firing. And this was one of those sunsets that just got better and better and better. You just couldn't stop taking pictures. Usually in a sunset like this, you're shooting early and you never know where the peak is, where it's going to max out in color, because 5 seconds from this shot can be a completely different look and a lot less color. So you're just kind of continually shooting through the sunset, and this just kept getting better and better and better. And Mark's comments, who has lived here since the 50s, was that evening was what he called a 50-year sunset. He said that they just are so rare, and and this is a guy that witnesses it nightly. And so that's actually what we started calling this, was the 50-year sunset image. But it's incredibly colorful on aluminum and shows so beautifully in the gallery that it's definitely a showstopper. Sorry, definitely a showstopper in the gallery, and beautiful image. Lucky to get it. Right place, right time.
It is one of my favorites, and on all my visits to Kauai, I've never seen a sunset like this. They usually are totally different, like you said. And but this image has something in it that I love so much, and it's sort of like a secret little surprise, which always makes me intrigued with a photograph when you learn more. And I was waiting to see if you were going to mention it, but the secret little surprise is that little flock of parrots in there near one of the palm trees. And if you know Kauai, especially the south side, that will help you pinpoint where this photo is taken, because every night around sunset, I just love going over there, because all these parrots start flying in for the evening, and they make their homes, I think, in those palm fronds all through those palm trees along the south side. And it's just, that alone is like a little show to watch at sunset. But oh my God, the color you got in this night. I'm so glad that you skipped your dinner and ran out to shoot it, because I know how easy it would have been to be like, oh, I'll go another night. Sunsets happen every night. But this was like no other. And that's funny that Mark said it was a 50-year sunset. I think we should change the name of this photograph, because it's true. And every sunset is beautiful, but as a photographer, we do kind of have our idea of what a sunset should look like. And this is the epitome of it. And when we need to make sure this is on the gallery walls in Ventura too, because it is just the dreamiest, happiest, most beautiful. That's what you want when you go to watch the sunset. And I want it on my wall so I can look at it every night.
We did have it in the gallery, and it was on the walls for a very brief blink of an eye, and it was already gone. So somebody snatched that sucker up, and I can't wait to get it on the wall again. I've been to Kauai and Maui, and I was expecting these amazing sunsets every night. And every night I was like, it's better in Ventura. I don't understand. So that explains a lot.
Yep.
And this sky is just so layered. I mean, it's just fascinating that you've got those high, streaky ripples, and then you've got that fascinating lower, what are those, like nimbus clouds that look puffy on the top. Really, really fascinating. So many layers and so much to get lost in. Like, those are always my favorite shots. The ones that you can look at over and over and over again, and there's always something more to explore and discover and just feel like you're there.